Besides channel, there's something I have to do first, okay? And that is, okay, I have to, this is a precaution, log on to my own video, okay, using my phone, alright? And the reason I want to do that is to make sure I get credit for a video. Because what happens sometimes, as I've been known before, I'll go through a video and I go back and I look at the replay and it says it was streamed 50 years ago. And basically the video is unwatchable. Won't let you watch it because it's still saying it's still being processed. So what I do is I mute my phone. Okay, then I log in. Then I log in with my phone. Okay, let's go open up as the title suggests. We'll be taking a look at. So it's really sort of a historic video because as you'll see, since the mid 80s, the amount of coal being used in the U.S. and the world even to produce electricity has fallen dramatically. Okay. So anyway, the data comes from our world in data. There is a link in the description below. For the data. I'm also going to put a link at the end of the night for the quadratic spreadsheet itself, which you can actually go out and look at it for yourselves. Okay. So anyway, this is the raw data. I then pulled out data for the U.S., for the continents, and for income groups. Now, one thing I found out is when you upload your data, whatever you do, if you want to convert it, you want to choose, right-click it and say flatten, because what flatten does, it converts it into a static Python pandas data frame. Otherwise, it's a connection to the data. Okay, so look over here. As you can see, coal. All right. And again, to scroll left and right, use the Shift key and the mouse button. Okay. All right. So we're going to since we got lots of data over here on these ones over here. Okay. All right. Coal production per capita, coal production change in terawatt hours, coal production change percent, let's look at coal production. That's a good one. So we want to create a plot, okay, coal production change in terawatt. Let's look at coal production per capita and coal production itself as a raw number. This is good two numbers here. Notice it doesn't say a share of energy. So we're going to use the column that have the most data in, okay? Because you can see that one has data there also. So this is coal production change percentage, coal production change. Let's look at coal production per capita, okay? So because of the static column, we can come up here and copy it. Now it should act on, the plot should be for the active spreadsheet, okay? So let's go back over here, okay? for the and we're going to do the basic thing for all three categories. Okay. So we'll look at these. We'll look at these two columns. Okay. For U.S. for continents and for income groups. All right. Now, in terms of you know, coal for electricity, I'm going to tell you that it declined from like 85% to it's currently down to about 15% of the electricity in the U.S. is produced by coal. And that 15% is mainly in U.S. states where they have coal, okay? So, like Wyoming, surprising enough, Wyoming is the biggest coal producer of any state in the U.S. right now. So their electricity is produced by coal. Now the question is it actually pulling the data from this sheet here? Okay, because you may want to actually tell it to use the data in this sheet, okay? Let's cancel generation. Because I think it's probably still trying to pull from energy. So we want to let's try to tell it use the data in the current sheet. Okay, now this is interesting. It doesn't want to use the data here. Looks like there's a problem. Error 400, malformed input request. Suspect must not valid schema required. Okay, so I'm going to have to I'm going to mention this to Gabe and see what he thinks about this. Let's try it again. Okay, so this is a little disappointing. What's it trying? Is it actually trying to put it over here? Let's see something over here. So you see, this is a large spreadsheet. Okay, so let's come back over here. Let's come back over here. Okay. This isn't working out right, is it? So is this the name of a spreadsheet? Okay, so let's try this. Let's tell it to use a Python 1 data frame. Python 1 data frame, scroll right, scroll up. Interesting. You notice it's identified the column, it looks like. Okay. This is a little disappointing. Okay. Please reformat your input and try again. It's identifying the column here. That's what I don't understand. I'm going to pop up a thing here. Okay, so we're going to do something a little funky, I guess, after all. So, let's just rename this 1. So this is probably not going to work either. 2. Data 3. Okay, so let's come back over here now. Let's add a sheet. And of course, as always, by all means, you have a suggestion. If you're familiar with this program, you know what the trouble again is? Oh, jeez. That's a column also. So let's add a new sheet. And let's do this. Insert data. Manage. So, for whatever reason, see at this point, this is not flat. This is not flattened, okay? This is a native import. So, come back over here. All right. Let's bring sheet back up and make it. So now, so it looks like we can run this again, doesn't it? Let's try it now. So, it doesn't like flat data frames. That's disappointing that this isn't working. There's just no way about it. I don't understand. What's the point of having a flat, what's the point of having a flat, what's the point? Let's change this just to energy. Energy, okay? Is that right? Energy, right? Okay. Better yet, let's start, because I want to keep this the way it is for Gabe. New, leave. What started out to be a very simple plot, is once again it got complicated, because I don't understand what the point is of converting it to a flat if you can't plot it in the so there that is. Energy. Change this. Sometimes it seems to be a little slow down, a little sluggish. What sheet name? This over here, let's call this data then. Okay, we're not making a lot of progress here tonight, are we? This, of course, this happens sometimes, doesn't it? Okay, let's come back over here. Let's come back up here to our files. Let's do this. Let's delete that. We want to leave the energy data there, right? Hopefully I didn't delete it. Hopefully we didn't delete this. Does this work? So does that mean that the columns have to be So that raises the question, what's the flat function for? Okay. So we're not going to accomplish as much as I hope to tonight, but we should be able to get at least a couple plots for them two columns for the U.S. and the world. Okay. And this, of course, would take a minute or two to actually download our data. Uh, but as I was saying, coal use in the U.S. has declined, and back in the 20th century, when when things kind of like blew up as far as the Earth movement and stuff like that, uh, they did a couple things which kind of killed the coal industry in some states. They basically outlawed the use of what's called soft or high sulfur coal, because coal, when it's burned, produces sulfur dioxide. So they forced you only burn low sulfur or hard coal. They also, of course, required coal burning power plants to. Okay, so here we go. So you see, this is still the native data frame, if that's what you want to call it. Okay. How come that's not? Okay, so we'll look at coal production per capita and coal production. Okay. Let's look at coal production first. Oh, good. So it is on it. Excellent. Oh, very good. Okay, this is decent. United States. What's this? Coal production, United States versus the world. It's interesting that the world is continuing to use. Uh, Interesting. Uh, More and more coal. So it did use the data from the coal sheet. Okay, let's go over here now. Now by default, okay, that was coal production, right? Now let's look at this is interesting. We're not going to do it. this. I'm waiting. Please let me know. So I guess is this like tons or something like that? Oh, coal production per capita trends. There it is. So once again, United States coal per capita. Well, the world production coal per capita, I'm not sure if that's actually a value thing or not. It's coming back over here. Oh, I did. It already did it twice, didn't it? Sorry about that. I didn't see. By default, it puts it over to the side. That's what's confusing me. And a spill means it's out of space. There. So you can see coal production in terawatt hours worldwide has increased, but in the United States has remained flat. Okay, interesting. Coal production per capita. In the United States, the coal production per capita has declined. The world has remained the same. Let's see. Thicken lines with a reposition, legend, and center title, different title. That's nice, isn't it? That's the same thing, right? That's the same thing as, that's the same thing as this over here, right? That's really, coal production per capita. This is also per capita, but this down here doesn't look right, does it? Interesting. Okay. Maybe it adjusted the columns or something. Okay, good. Because these two plots here should be the same, which is really kind of odd. Okay? Okay, this is what we're talking about. Let's say So you can see that the U.S. coal production peaked at around 56% in 1985. It is now all the way down to 15%. See how this looks. Okay, there you have it. The U.S. coal production share as electric. So you can see, even of course, how. Now, obviously, the U.S. My guess is this. Notice how this decline, how this line parallels the world, the U.S. That's because the biggest decline, the biggest producer and user of coal, of course, was the U.S. Right, of any country. So a decline in the U.S. Let's try stuff. Now, this may not be accurate simply because I think they would say, well, yes, the individual numbers don't add up to the world. But it'll give us a hint, I think, of what's going on here. So this is interesting. So you can see the U.S. really contributed a huge amount to the use of coal. Okay, and now we got the decline. The U.S. is less and less. So you can see at one point it would look as if the U.S. was using 45% of the coal to produce electricity. That is now down to only 50%, less than about 50% of the world's coal is used by. Okay. With that, my friends, I'm going to bring this session to a close. Like I say, I will actually include your ability to the link to the spreadsheet itself. So you go out and you can view the spreadsheet yourself. So go out and look at the spreadsheet, then come back and drop me a comment in the station below, okay?